Nolo, your legal companion.
Hello, I'm Richard Stimm, the author of Music Law, and in this video I'm going to explain how to prepare a copyright application for a song using the Copyright Office's new Form CO. The Copyright Office will still accept the old forms like Form PA, but they prefer Form CO for a few reasons that we'll explain later in this video. Form CO is an all-purpose form. It's a big breakthrough for the Copyright Office, and you can use this form for any type of work, a movie, book, or website. We're going to use it for a song. You start out by going to the Copyright Office website, www.copyright.gov. Then click Forms and choose Form CO. If the form doesn't open, it's probably because you need the latest version of Adobe Acrobat Reader. By the way, you can also download detailed instructions on how to use Form CO at the same place at the Copyright Office website. When the form opens, you'll get a warning right away explaining that you cannot save a completed copy of the form. You can only print it using the button in the upper right-hand corner. If you plan on registering a series of songs, you can keep the form on the screen after you've completed it once and make the changes and print out subsequent forms for other songs. You'll notice a big difference with Form CO. There's a barcode on the right side. The reason for that is that this form can be processed faster and more efficiently at the Copyright Office. That's because it uses what's called 2D barcode technology. As you type information into the form, the barcode changes. The Copyright Office doesn't read any of the information you've typed. Instead, the Copyright Office scans the barcode for your information. For that reason, you should not handwrite anything on Form CO except for your signature and perhaps your date of signature in Section 8. You should enter all of the information on Form CO using your computer and then print it out. Okay, let's start with Section 1, which is the work being registered. First, we choose the type of work to register. For a song, you would choose a performing arts work. You should not choose sound recording. You would only use that if you were registering ownership of a recording. For example, if you are a producer, performer, or a record company. If you'd like more information about the distinction between registering a sound recording and a performing arts work, a song in this case, read Circular 56A, which you can get at the Copyright Office. We're registering a song called Pucker Up and Kiss Me. We disregard Section 1C as that doesn't apply to songs. If the song has an alternate or previous title, that is, fans or DJs know it by nickname, enter that in Section 1D. The date of completion for Section 1E is the year when you finished your song. Usually it's when you say, "I'm done," and you make a recording or you play it for your band. The date of publication, Section 1F, is the date when you distribute copies of your song to the public. For example, the date when you post MP3s of the song on your website. Performing a song in public is not considered publication. If you've never published your song, skip to Section 2. You can skip 1G regarding ISBNs because they're not granted for songs. For American bands, you're probably going to list the nation of first publication as the United States in Section 1H. If your song was one of many songs on a CD or other collection of published songs, list the title of the collection, which would be the name of the album. You can disregard Section 1J because you're not dealing with serial issues, and you can probably disregard Section 1K unless you pre-registered your song with the Copyright Office, which is unlikely. Section 2, Author Information. In this section, you need to list the person or persons who contributed to the songwriting. This can be tricky when it comes to bands, so if you're not sure who is a co-writer, you might want to check Chapter 7 of my Music Law book. Generally, anyone who made a material contribution to the song is a co-writer, but keep in mind that listing someone as a co-writer doesn't mean that you need to split revenues equally. You can work out any arrangement you want with your co-writers. Enter the name of the individual, the year of birth and death, if applicable, and their citizenship. In the next section, you indicate whether this author's contribution is a work made for hire. It's unlikely that your song is a work made for hire unless you were hired as an employee to write it or commissioned to write it, and it meets some other conditions. Then indicate whether the contribution is anonymous or if you used a pseudonym. Under Section 2H, you'll need to indicate the songwriter's contribution. Generally, that's lyrics or music or both. If there's more than one songwriter, click the button that says, "Click here to create space to add an additional author," and then enter the appropriate information. Next, Section 3, information about the copyright claimant. The copyright claimant is the person who owns the copyright, and unless you've agreed to transfer the song, that is, sell it to someone like a publisher, the copyright claimant is going to be you or you and your co-writers. If it is a work made for hire, it's the person or company who hired you to write the song. On the bottom of this page in space 3E, if the claimant is not the same as the author, you need to indicate how the ownership was transferred. For example, you inherited the song or you transferred it by a written agreement. If there's more than one person claiming copyright, click the button that says, "Click here to create space," and add an additional claimant, and then enter the appropriate information. Section 4 talks about limitations on your copyright claim. If your song is completely original, that is, you didn't borrow any lyrics or use any samples, then you can skip Section 4 completely. If you did use something from another source, you're going to have to check the appropriate box in 4A to indicate what you're not copywriting, that is, what you're not claiming as your own. Then in Section 4C, you need to indicate what you are claiming, that is, what's new, that's what you've contributed. So, for example, if you used words from the Bible as your lyrics, but you wrote your own music, you would check text in Section 4A and music in Section 4C. If you took a public domain song and you created a new arrangement, you would check the text and music boxes in 4A, and under 4C in the other box, you would write new arrangement. Chances are the work hasn't been subject to a previous registration, but if it has, enter that information in Section 4B. Section 5, Rights and Permissions, is a new approach for the Copyright Office. They're now going to make available contact information in case someone wants to license or use your song. You don't need to enter information here. You can simply click the box and it will copy the information from the first copyright claimant section. Section 6 deals with the correspondence address, that is, the address with which the Copyright Office will correspond with you. Again, you can click the button to fill in the forms and the information will be entered automatically. The same is true in Section 7, where you designate where you want the certificate mailed to. Section 8 deals with certification. That is, you're certifying that the statements you made are all true. Read the section and type the name of the person who's going to sign. You probably don't have a deposit account. That's money already deposited at the Copyright Office, so you can skip that section. Now that you're done with the form, print out 2 copies, one to send to the Copyright Office and one to keep for your records. Sign the form. Put the form and 2 copies of your song, if it's published, or one if it's unpublished, in an envelope, along with the $45 fee payable to the Register of Copyrights. It's also possible to save money by registering many songs with one Form CO. But in order to do that, you'll need to check out Circular 50, available at the Copyright Office website. Good luck with your songwriting.